Hey guys, Marshmallow here, and welcome to the start of a new channel and, more importantly, a new series I want to do that I call Free-to-Play Rewind. Now, I know a lot of you probably, like me, are really nostalgic for old TF2, whether it be Day 1 patch, TF2, or the War Update, NG Update, Manconomy, Screen Fortress, all that stuff. But before I get into what this series is, I want to talk about what I wanted it to be. So this idea started about a month ago in a different form, when I just really wanted to play with the old Milkman set. I was just sitting there, Alright, yeah, we get it. So this idea started about a month ago in a different form when I just really wanted to play with the old Milkman set. I did a bunch of research on whether or not, it'd be possible to run older... we were gonna take a break. I did a bunch of research on whether or not it'd be possible to run older clients and play some silly bot matches on older patches. And I got very little documentation on the idea itself, at least in the form of older TF2 patches. So after doing a little bit more research, I found that I actually could, in fact, pull older clients from Steam itself, which is perfect, you'd think, but there are a couple limitations to doing it that way. The major one being that I do need a manifest ID for the download, and SteamDB, which is, as far as I know, the one site that does stuff like this, only started archiving TF2s in October 29th of 2013, which is pretty far into its timeline, at least for the older TF2 clients that I want to cover. But this is also where we get other problems as well. Number two is I would need a server to even play on, and okay, I could easily get some bots on a server I made by myself offline, sure, but optimally it'd be with other players. Now out of any problem, this one is the most easily solvable, but that does lead into the final and biggest problem, which is access to the item servers. But I really doubt I'd be able to even use any of the weapons once I got into a client that worked, because they aren't stock. And the only thing I can think of to bypass this is if maybe I hosted my own server with some source mods. I know there's TF2 items, and that would work, but I believe that would also mean I'd need a TF2 server client that is also the same patch, and if I can't even find a client for the player, finding the server info would be even harder, I'd imagine. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not really familiar with all that stuff. I ran a little tiny fun server for myself and my friends like 3 years ago or so, and I did not get too into the modding on that. That all being said though, I love this idea so much still. Like, I want to do this so bad. If by any chance someone watching this does know, please let me know, because I would immediately be on that. However, I still really wanted a way to get both a little bit of nostalgia and just breathe some life into this old game that I've beaten to the ground for years. And the simpler idea came to me. Just make a free-to-play account. What I want to do with this series is make an alternate account and play it as is. I want zero interactions with trading, Steam Market, anything outside of the drop system. But there's also one rule I want to enforce on this account, and that is that I must play with whatever new weapon drop I get, up until the next weapon drop. If the time between weapon drops is extra short, then there's some leeway on how I'll go about it, but I, in general, want to stay pretty strict to that rule. I think it's going to make it funner for me, it's going to make it fresh for me, and just sort of give me an objective with how I'm playing TF2 and how I'm making these videos. Normally nowadays I just load up TF2, I just go in with just stock scout, I just play scout, I just run around, shoot some guys, and it's like, yeah, it's fun, but I don't ever take the time to really play around with the other weapons, and I think it's just because I just have all of them, so it's like, what do I want to do? I believe that limiting myself will make it a lot more interesting how I do my loadouts, how I interact with this weapon, and maybe I'll learn a couple things about newer weapons that have newer updates or stuff like that. Now these weapons are obviously going to be on the most modern patch, and that kind of sucks, but there's nothing I can really do about that. I also want to take a bit of time in each clip that I do, like each video, to explain the patch history behind a weapon I get, because a lot of these weapons nowadays are either useless or clones thanks to the new patch. They've done like so many things like that, even though, a lot of them probably honestly didn't deserve the nerfs, and there's just some great weapons that you look at it and you're like, oh, this is piece of shit. But before, if you look at the patch history, it's amazing, and I really want to showcase that because this game has had so many fun little changes throughout the years. There's so many weapons that have had like its ups and downs, and I think that's really cool in a game. And that's really it. The premise is simple. I just wanted to essentially make a little vlog for my new little free-to-play account and how it's gonna grow, along with some history of this 10-year-old game. Along with some history of this 10-year-old game. The most important thing I want to let anyone know when watching this is I love TF2. I'm making these videos 80% for myself and just myself alone. If I wanted to make a profitable YouTube, I'd go play Overwatch or PUBG or whatever people are into now. And don't get me wrong, I kind of like PUBG, but... I love working on projects in my spare time, and I want to have these videos to look back on when I'm even older from now. I wish I did a little series like this when I was, I don't know, 17 or something. I would probably love to look at those now. I'm not new to video editing, but I am new to doing voiceovers, and it's something I'd like to get better at. I feel as if you do end up watching this series, I will probably definitely grow into my personality. Right now I'm a little bit of a blank slate, just trying to get a feel for everything that's going on with it, and it's mainly just a bonus, a very nice bonus, mind you, if it also gives other people enjoyment. If you do enjoy watching this series, that makes me very happy. Regardless, I hope that you guys do enjoy the series. I'm looking forward to creating it, and that's it for this video. As you can see, I just got my first weapon we'll be looking at.
The Caber.
And that will be in the next video. And until then, take care, guys. It's... when this game was active, there was so many different things going on. What am I saying? Okay, I'm sure as you see this series progress, I will probably get more open with personality, more, I'll probably be a lot better at a lot.